Hello, everybody. Back here again for a vlog a day, and today is Tuesday, the 11th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got up this morning, early-ish, not a lot later than normal, but not as late as a lot of people on a cruise ship sleep in. So I got up, got a couple things done quietly, grabbed myself my running gear, and headed out. Went up to the track, got my run in. Swung down by after my run. The run was actually not too bad. It was not as bad as yesterday for people and stuff blocking the way and whatnot. So we had a good time. Got my run in there. Didn't run that long today. I think I only ran like 3.5 miles. Like that wasn't a real long run by any means. So kept it short. We had breakfast plans to eat at the Wake, which is their fancy restaurant here on the ship. So we went and did breakfast down there at the Wake and knocked that out. It takes a while to get food there, it really does. But we weren't getting off the ship until late, so it was no big deal. We were able to have a good time with it. So we knocked that out. Food was good. Just like I said, it takes a little while. But other than that, it was a really good meal. So from there, we headed back to the room, got a couple things done, packed up our to-go bag, I guess, lack of a better term. So we grabbed our stuff, and then we headed out, and we had no plans for today. We really didn't know what we were doing. Instead, we just walked off the ship, went around a little bit, and trying to figure out what we're going to do. We kind of started to walk one way, and I'm like, I don't know where we're walking, we don't know where we're going. And we were back and forth, and there was selling just like walk off the ship tours, book it through the cruise line itself. So for $40, we jumped on a bus, and then basically took us around, I think, like 6 or 8 spots, I don't know, a bunch of different places for photo shoots and stuff. We hit like a local market. My wife was having some heartburn, and she forgot to bring Tums, so we had to find a local market to buy some Tums. Ended up buying myself a Mountain Dew, which the taste surprisingly is pretty close to Florida Mountain Dew. The water is not that different. Like I can tell the difference between Florida and an Iowa Mountain Dew, but it's pretty close to Florida Mountain Dew down here in the islands. So went ahead from there, kind of wandered around a little bit, hit all our different little spots, and we usually stop between 15 and 30 minutes at each spot, and just kind of went around, saw a lot of cool things, saw like the castle, saw the forts, and saw cemeteries and different little things and stuff. And some people stayed off at like different spots. They would drop off there, and then they would do the longer tour at that location and head back. But we headed back towards the ship and decided to drop ourselves off at what they call like Old Town, whatever. It's like a shopping district type area where they have a bunch of little shops and stuff here and there. And we went around different places, ended up finding a really cool cigar shop. Their prices for cigars were kind of pricey, but they are what they are. It's just kind of the deal what they deal. It's higher than the inside, even for a local shop, it's kind of higher. But there's a gentleman there buying some cigars that I smoke most every day, and I'm like, those are really good. He ended up buying a bundle of them there. Paid way more than I paid. He paid about 4 times, a little 4.5 times what I paid for them. But he was happy with it. Who cares? They had some nice hats that I looked at. A couple different hat shops. For the price and the quality wasn't quite what I wanted, so I kind of skipped over on them all. And then I ended up finding they had a really cool cigar Christmas tree ornament, and the way they were marked in the thing, I thought they were cheaper than they were. I was going to buy a few of them, and then when they told me the price, I was like, I'll just take one for me, because I was going to buy some as a gifts to other people, but the price was high enough. I didn't like those people that much, so went ahead and bought one of those for myself. And then basically we went around all the different little shops and found a really cool art gallery that was beautiful art and stuff, and they do like poetry reading and stuff and whatnot, which they're actually doing poetry later tonight, which we could have came back to because we didn't leave port till like 9:30, but we didn't head back that way. So but we went around, had a good time. Karen's getting some blisters on her feet, which sucks, so making walking much more unpleasant for her than what it needs to be. But she went ahead and she mustered up like a trooper and held up pretty good. So we wandered around, had a good time, and just enjoyed herself. We went and checked out a couple of like little garden sections and stuff. They have different little things and stuff. Like they had like the one was an immigrant garden, which I thought was kind of cool. Little fountains and flowers and stuff, and had a good time. A lot of vendors on the street. And then we ended up, as we were walking by, there was a big Walgreens there near the port, and I was like, hey, do you need Walgreens? She goes, no. I said, are you sure? She's like, no. And I'm like, are you 100% certain you don't? And she goes, actually, yeah, I do. I need some more Band-Aids because she listed on our feet. So we went into Walgreens real quick. They had quite a bit of stuff, and their prices weren't cheap by any means, but I've seen higher at places. But it's probably the highest priced Walgreens I've ever seen. So we basically hung out there. We got the stuff she needed. We went to get in line, and the line was horrendous. It went 3/4 of the way around the store. It was a horrendous line. It took like 25 minutes to get to the line when we got in line to get our stuff paid for, which that was a little bit much. But yeah, everybody in line was bitching and complaining about how long it was. We just kind of suck it up and just deal with it. So left there, headed back to the ship, hung out for a little bit, had a good time, ended up having some drinks and stuff, chilled out, ended up, we didn't have dinner plans because we didn't know when we were getting back to the ship with such a late port to be hacking the ship at like 9:30. We didn't know if we were going to eat off the ship or on the ship. So we ended up heading down back to Pink Agave 2 days in a row and basically asking, hey, is there any chances of getting seated? And they're like, yeah, we can seat you right now, no big deal, because a lot of people hadn't got back on the ships. They didn't have a lot of early reservations yet, so the restaurant was pretty empty. We got there right about opening time, so went ahead and knocked out another meal, had a great meal there. Of course, had a couple more crickets. The drinks are just, the cricket is such a good drink, so knocked that out, and then we went and basically ran around, did some other stuff, hung out with some people, just chilling out, just kind of bumping into friends and stuff on the ship, and doing, like, played some shuffleboard, played some air hockey, and just little things you do on a cruise ship. And then ended up going to a show called Perfect Fifth. Yeah, they're out of, I think, the United Kingdom. It's a little female singer, and then 4 band members. They got a bass, a regular guitar, a keyboardist, and then a drummer. And they play all kinds of random cover stuff. They cover a bunch of different kinds of music. So we had a good time there. Basically, Karen had went down there earlier than I was, so she got us a really good seat. And then I showed up and basically watched the show. Of course, a little loud, but overall, a great time. From there, we wandered around and ended up, she was tired. She was pretty exhausted. So she headed up to the room to kind of crash out and kind of just relax and just kind of, recharge and kind of rest. Wasn't ready to go to sleep yet, but she wasn't wanting to do anything else. So I grabbed my cigar and I headed up to the smoking section. And of course, it's trying to drizzle rain. It's been raining earlier and it's trying to drizzle rain. So I watched the boat pull out of port and then trying to stay out of the rain. I ended up hiding in a covered area that overlooks the pool, and you're not supposed to smoke there, but I was able to not get caught, I guess, lack of a better term. So when I was keeping an eye out, I see the security guy around, I wasn't puffing on my cigar and stuff. I kept it kind of down by my leg, and I was on my phone, so it looked like I was just sitting there not waiting to smoke when he walked away. So luckily, I've been told on the sister ship not to smoke there before, but they're just nice as they go over there instead. So it's not that big a deal. And I didn't bring my chair up, which I should have, but I didn't figure it was, I figured it would rain. I didn't think I was going to get a cigar in at all. So but I was able to knock out my cigar, have myself a good time, had a couple other drinks throughout the evening, and just kind of trying to burn through all of our onboard credit that we have. We have so much money to spend. It's ridiculous. So, but yeah, went from there, headed back down. Karen was kind of in and out of sleep when I got back here. So I ended up watching a little bit of a movie called Power. I've been watching on this TV here in the boat. And then wrapped it up. I turned on a podcast, or not a podcast, but a comedy special I downloaded on my iPad to kind of act as noise to go to sleep by. So wrapped up and called it a night. So that's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe and wonderful day. Thanks for watching.